Come on in. Welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about how I voted in the Survivor 50 ballot. If you weren't aware, Survivor 50 is in the hands of the fans, and we were able to vote on crucial elements of the season throughout the airing of Survivor 48. Everything from the design of individual immunity to whether there are idols at all were on the ballot. Today, I thought it would be fun to go through how I voted for every item on the Survivor 50 ballot, and along the way, I want to hear how you guys voted as well. As we go through every single category we could vote on, I'll give my justification for how I voted, as well as guess how the public voted as well. Does democracy work? Let's find out. The first week, we were able to vote on a number of things, but let's start with the tribe colors. There was a blue, orange, and green option, an orange, teal, and purple option, and a green, red, and yellow option. In a vacuum, I actually like the color palette of the blue, orange, and green best, but I cast my vote for option B with the teal because this is a color we haven't seen in a really long time. And I really want us to get out of the red, blue, yellow, then green, orange, purple color schemes we've been on for the entirety of the new era. I'll be honest, I was hoping for some more adventurous tribe colors. Give me a brown or a pink or a lime or something, but I'll take teal. It's a step in the right direction for sure. I'm not super confident in how the public voted on this one, but I'm going to guess most people also went for the most adventurous color palette, so I'll say the public did also vote for option B. The next item we were able to vote on during week 1 was whether to give the players rice or not to give them rice. I voted for no rice, so I think the public will actually vote to give the players rice. My reasoning is that with the diminished amount of days, the new era really needs something to ratchet up the difficulty of the game, and this is one of the only leverages production has to make the game difficult physically. I definitely see the argument that it's not super fun to watch people starve, and that rice drives conflict. I agree with both of those things, but overall, I do think it's necessary for the spirit of the game, the one called Survivor, to make rice a scarce resource if we're going to stick with 26 days. Plus, if we're going to have Angelina on Survivor 50, we need the season to have no rice so she can negotiate for more. The next item we were able to vote on in week 1 was whether Final Four firemaking should stay or go. This one had some hilarious thumbs on the scale from production. The question was basically worded like, do you want to keep the amazing, competitive, beautiful Final Four firemaking challenge, or give that up for a boring, crummy, stupid vote off? I voted to get rid of Final Four firemaking for obvious reasons. I think a vote is generally more compelling, and we already got everything we could out of Final Four firemaking in Edge of Extinction, but I'm not sure the public will actually vote it out. Don't shoot the messenger, but I think a lot of casual fans like the drama and theatrics of firemaking and agree with Jeff that strong players should get one last chance to save themselves and earn their way into the final 3. It's a coin flip for me, but I'm going to hesitantly say that Final Four firemaking was voted out by the public, only because I think this is probably being voted on largely by the more chronically online fans. But I would not be surprised at all if Final Four firemaking remains in the game. The final item for week 1 that we could vote on was whether to have a live finale in LA or the after show in Fiji. I'm truly trying to comprehend the mind of the person that would vote for the after show over a live reunion. Like, who are you? And why are you? I'm going to guess that 99% of people joined me in voting for a live reunion, and the 1% who didn't accidentally clicked the wrong thing. In episode 4, we were able to vote again on 3 items, the first of which was what the final immunity challenge should be. The Plinko challenge used in Survivor 46, a massive obstacle course, and finally the classic Simotion. I wasn't in love with any of these options, honestly. I knew we weren't getting a classic endurance challenge that can go forever, but I would have liked to see more classic challenges in the mix alongside Simotion. Like, I would have loved one of those giant 5-pronged obstacle courses used in the 20s, or maybe something like A Bit Tipsy, which is always a super exciting watch. Overall, I hesitantly voted for Samotion despite its recent oversaturation, because it is the most classic of these challenges in particular, and I think the public probably did too, but I'll be honest, I wasn't super excited to vote for Samotion, and I only did so because my hands were tied. The next item we could vote on was whether advantages should have a dynamic power, strategic power, or minimal power. These were not really given definitions, so this question was frustratingly vague, but I voted minimal power under the assumption that means that advantages will largely be in the realm of more simplistic items like the shot in the dark and extra votes. Simple, easy to understand, the stars have to align for them to have an impact in the game, but they can. Whereas I interpreted strategic power as things like vote steals and vote blocks, which I'm also fine with, and dynamic power as your full-blown safety without power, knowledge is power, a lot of power, but who freaking knows? This wasn't super clear from the wording. I might be regretting my vote for minimal power after watching an entire post-merge of completely stagnant Survivor strategy in Survivor 48, but my guess is the public bailed me out anyway and voted for the middle option, strategic power, because it does sound the best. The final thing we could vote for in the second round of voting was whether there should be a tribe switch or not. I voted for a tribe switch. They've been rare in the new era, though thankfully they're bringing it out more and more, and I think the public will again vote with me on this one. Switches are fun, though a double-edged sword on returnee seasons because a fan favorite inevitably goes home during one. But overall, I'm pro tribe swap if we don't overdo it like we did in the 30s. Like, why was every round of Game Changers a swap? These swaps were inventing whole tribes that no one's ever heard of, and no one even remembers who was on them. Anyway, I digress. In episode 8, we could again vote for a few items. The first of which was the design of the immunity necklace. This was my favorite category of the whole ballot, and what I was really hoping for when I heard we could vote for elements of Survivor 50. I think both options are quite honestly stunning. The artist truly killed both these designs, but I went with option B, which more prominently displays the Phoenix, because come on, look at this thing. It is so good. I think the public will vote for this option as well, and I cannot wait to see it in all its glory next spring. The next item we could vote on in Week 8 was whether to give the players their camp supplies or make them earn it. I voted to give them camp supplies, and I'll tell you why. I think withholding the flint has been a contributing factor to all of the fail tribes we've seen in recent seasons. Not the main factor, but a factor for sure. And I think returnee seasons are at their best when there's sincere back and forth between the tribes, and everyone touches tribal council at least once or twice before the merge. And to be honest, I'm kind of tired of there being a flop tribe every other season. However, I think I might be out of step with the public on this one, and I could definitely see the vote going towards making them earn their camp supplies. At the very least, I wouldn't be surprised if this vote is close. So when Sari is voted out third because she's on the fail tribe that has no flint, pot, or machete, don't come yelling at me. I did my part. The final item we could vote on in Week 8 was twists, and how rare they should be. Again, it's unclear what they consider light and heavy twists. Like, I assume Survivor in its current format is considered on the more twist-heavy side, but is that how they view it? If we vote for twists, are we going to get even more twists than we already have? I genuinely don't know, which is why I played it safe and voted to keep twists rare. I think the show is generally in a good spot, but needs to dial back things like the lost votes, especially mandatory lost votes and luck-based lost votes, a lot. So that's mostly why I voted for light twists. That said, I am expecting the public to vote for heavy twists, which, as long as that means it looks like the current game and not a zanier version of the current game, I'm mostly fine with. Just no more Yahtzee, please. Finally, during episode 12, we could vote for one last item, and it's a big one. Idols or no idols. Obviously, the public is voting for idols. Outside of hardcore purists, everyone likes idols, or at least acknowledges their necessity in the game. That said, I voted no idols. I actually want idols in the game, look at the name of this channel, but this was basically me tossing in a protest vote because I know they'll be voted in by fans. And I did this for 2 reasons. A, I want the votes to reflect as much as possible that we want some of the twists in the game dialed back a little. So I used my vote strategically, something the Survivor 48 cast could learn from. And B, imagine if we actually voted idols out of the game. Imagine it. That would be so funny and so insane. An evil little part of me actually wants to see it happen, especially since the players won't even know there are no idols. Imagine like Ozzy spending hours looking for an idol and there's just no idol. Okay, I've actually changed my mind. My vote is sincere. No idols, but lots of looking for idols, please. Got nothing else for ya. Now I want to know, what do you think of my votes and how did you vote? What do you think the public voted for and why? Let me know. Until next time, don't get idled out.